Time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
No, they want to see me doing bad, but I'm good.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 coming back at you for that Monday boxing recap known as the Shoe Shine. Joining me all the way from the city of brotherly love, Philly Irish Drew Evo. ¿Qué pasa, homie?
What's up, Dave?
Good to see you. Good to see you. And boxing is coming to your hometown again, Drew, and I hope to hear that you've got some tickets for this Saturday night. If not, we got to see what we could do to secure you some seats. Shout out to everybody joining us now. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to my homegirl, Mom Food Plant and Things, a YouTube content creator here joining us first in the chat. Good to see you as always, Mom Food. Man, Drew. Oh, it was a fun weekend for me out here in Las Vegas. It was cracking at the Virgin Casino Hotel this Saturday night. Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya presents, obviously, Floyd Kid Austin Schofield debuts at, well, should I say, he makes his first headliner appearance in Las Vegas. I happened to see him fight at the Cosmopolitan back when William Zepeda was the headliner, Drew. And I shared this story with you guys. I don't know if you remember it, Drew, but somehow, because they had oversold tickets at the Cosmo, your boy Dave got front row seats, and I was sitting right behind the DAZN crew, Chris Mannix, and sitting to the right of me was Floyd Schofield's mom. And I remember having a great interaction watching that fight, which I believe ended up in a disqualification. He was the co-main event. Well, as soon as William Zepeda got ready to fight, the ushers escorted me and my wife to some other seats, which were still pretty good. They weren't sitting with Floyd Schofield's mom. Those seats were apparently for William Zepeda's wife and kids. Well, wouldn't you effing know it? But if you guys follow me at shoeshine_boxing at Instagram, my boy Fonzie got us great ringside seats. And who do I end up sitting next to for the whole fight? None other than Floyd Schofield's family. So shout out to his mom. Which was great. It's the second time I ran into her this year, and suddenly we're now social media friends. Drew. So how soon before the Shoe Shine gets an interview with Floyd Schofield Sr., who's making the rounds on boxing YouTube podcasts, Drew, and many people are comparing Floyd Schofield Sr. to being the new Bill Haney. Well, we're going to get into that talk about, boxing dads. Because Philadelphia, hey, you've got your fair share of them in Philadelphia. Obviously, everybody remembers Mr. Garcia, Angel, right? A great boxing dad. And there's been a whole history of great boxing dads. And I guess due to the performance, there's been a lot of criticism this week, this Monday morning quarterback stuff, regarding Floyd's performance in his first 12-round fight. We're going to get to that immediately. There's some boxing this Friday. Obviously, Keyshawn Davis looks to cement himself as a lightweight contender, future world champ. He's got a tough fight in front of him, as did Floyd Schofield. Also, this division is red hot, right, Drew? And then Saturday, of course, what's on tap Saturday is Philadelphia. Bam Rodriguez meets up with his new homeboy, Boots Ennis, and they're going to headline a card in Philadelphia. A great week of boxing ahead. A lot to talk about. Where should we start, Drew? None other than let's get to the main event of Saturday that I witnessed, Drew. I'm going to go ahead and let you, while I pour this shot of tequila, Go ahead and let me know what you thought about that main event. Floyd Schofield makes his debut. Of course, he's a contender. And let me just quickly tell you where he's ranked at the moment. He is ranked number 2 by the WBA, and he's in a bitter war of words with Gervonta Tank Davis, Haney, and, of course, Shakur Stevenson.
Oh, man. That wasn't it. He went to hell and back with this dude.
Yeah, he did. I said that this guy Giron was going to be tough, mainly because Giron is from my mom's home state of Querétaro, Guanajuato. That's a city. Elevation 6,000 feet. They've got some awesome boxing gyms. I mentioned that there's some American trainers that have boxing gyms there. Super high elevation. So at the very least, I knew he was going to be tough, gritty, have a chin on him, and be ready, because the cardio that you get from high elevation training like that is insane. And all of that came to fruition. But let me get your further analysis, Drew. There were some rough moments for Schofield in round 3. He was embarrassed a bit. He missed the stool. By the way, I didn't even see that happen, and I was ringside. I didn't see it happen because, when you sit so close and you're having a great time and you're having drinks, you don't pay attention to everything. Shout out to Fonzie. He's got a great story. Fonzie has a great story. 3rd round, 11th round, he gets dropped for the first time in his professional career. Oscar said it was a C- performance, and that's not very kind considering that's his promoter. But Drew, what score did Drew give him?
I had it 115 to 112.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't think it was that good of a performance.
Are you talking about Robson Conceicao number 2, or are you talking about this fight with Schofield?
This fight with Schofield.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty damn close. As far as if you had to give him a letter grade, like Oscar said, it was a C- performance.
I gave him a C.
You gave him a straight C. Let me give you guys my perspective. I don't have the picture up here. Like I said, Fonzie's got some amazing pictures. I don't know if Fonzie, if your account is public on Instagram, but what's hilarious, shout out to Sonteo Media, who in January was with me at the Virgin for the Virgil Ortiz fight. And I want to let you guys know the excitement for Virgil Ortiz, you could not compare that to this past Saturday. They gave away seats at the last minute at 50% discount. The venue holds like 4,000 people, and it might have been half full. So you can't compare the ambiance. I mean, it was almost sold out to see Virgil Ortiz. He got that first round. This one had about half the crowd, largely pro-Mexican, Drew, largely pro-Mexicans. A lot of Latinos live in Las Vegas, and because it was kind of a smaller fight, a lot of locals showed up to come watch it. And they put on a great show for the most part. Gabriela Fundora becomes undisputed at 22 years old. Floyd Schofield put on a really good show against a tough Mexican. The only thing that bothered me was the Beck the Bully fight. Drew, I thought Beck the Bully, who got dropped by Gabe Rosado, was going to walk away with a stoppage. And wouldn't you know it, that David Stevens, a Philadelphia fighter, actually, we were talking to him. He is a Pennsylvania fighter. Sorry, guys, about my TV. I'm going to turn that off. Fonzie, who's in the chat, he buys David Stevens a drink right after the fight. And here I am predicting Beck the Bully to knock him out. Man, there wasn't a scratch on David Stevens' face, okay? There wasn't a scratch. In fact, David Stevens was at the bar. He was disappointed. In my conversation with him, Drew, and shout out to him for being such a tough and nice, honorable young man. I said, listen, you exceeded expectations. He goes, I know people thought I wasn't going to make that 12th round, but he was upset. And I'll tell you why he was upset, because he came to win, Drew, and he really thought one of the judges had David Stevens over Beck the Bully. 2 of the other cards gave it to Beck the Bully. He really thought he had done enough to win. He came to win, and so he was let down. And he was just chilling at the bar. Fonzie walks up to him and was like, let me get you a drink, champ. And he accepted a drink from Fonzie619, who's here in the chat. And like I said, there wasn't a single mark on his face. And I thought that, going to, you would think Beck the Bully was going to do some damage, but it was rather a poor performance from Beck the Bully. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to get to that Foster Conceicao rematch, Drew. But you said you gave young Schofield, Kid Austin, a C. And this is a deep division, Drew. What made you give him a C?
I think this was a guy that this should have been a showcase fight, in my opinion. I just didn't think that this guy was on his level. I think he fought down to the competition. And this is what I don't like. I'm going to say this. This is what I don't like. That these people hype this guy, hype people up. Their dads try to hype their sons up. And it just doesn't, then, when they get close enough to finally getting that shot and everything that we're going to see them in a meaningful fight, it just don't look good in it. And this was more of the case. I think that he needs another fight. I think the dude needs to have redemption. And I think the dude needs to make it look easy against a contender. But right now, I really think it's back to the drawing board for him. This was not really a good look for him this time around. Okay. But I thought Beck the Bully lost the fight too.
All right. Well, Beck the Bully fight was actually, it was kind of trash. I was disappointed in Beck the Bully gassing out midway through the rounds. It was not the statement. This was for a WBA title eliminator. And the super middleweight division is red hot. Canelo still has 3 belts. You've got this guy, William Skull, who's picked up one of the vacant IBF belts that they stripped Canelo of. And you've got all these guys like Berlanga with a name, Caleb Plant. And Beck the Bully's a guy that Oscar had faith in would be a contender and potentially a future world champion. And he just didn't make that statement. Now, Drew, let's get back. Sontel Media says he gives him a C. I think he said a C or a C+. Let me tell you why I gave him a B-. And I know people were particularly hard on young Schofield and why I say it's a B- performance. Kid's never been 12 rounds. And like I said, I was mentioning to you guys the ambiance of the fight, right? Half full, largely pro-Mexican. Your first time as debuting as the headliner. So, Drew, you're absolutely right. In many instances in that fight, he made it look like he was doing too much. He was really trying to please the crowd and slug it out with a Mexican fighter who had a really large gas tank and a really good solid chin. Because of that, I think he ate a pretty nasty uppercut in the 3rd round, one that when he returned back to the corner, he missed the stool. And that kind of went viral. That really set it off. And you had a lot of responses from the people that his dad had been talking shit about. Gervonta Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson tweeting live was put up on the screen. And I had to tell his mom, I said, you see the screen? And she looked over. She's on FaceTime Live. Not FaceTime Live. She's on Facebook streaming the fight to all her friends and family. She goes off on Shakur Stevenson, Drew. But they had a lot to say. A lot of people had a lot to say, specifically some of these fighters, Drew. Here, I got a comment from, let me see this first comment up here. Devin Haney had some shit to say. He says, I'm locked out on my Twitter, but Kid Austin is a kid for real and a bum. That's the 11th round. He got dropped there. I believe he was switching stances midway with his hands down, and he got caught with the check hook, and he was temporarily stunned. So, of course, Devin Haney, who he sparred, his dad has said that young Schofield's gotten the best of Haney in sparring. Gervonta Tank Davis didn't miss an opportunity either. He roasted Kid Austin for missing the stool in between rounds. This comes with the territory, Drew. You're trying to talk yourself into a title fight. You're a ranked number 2 by the WBA and ranked by the other, sanctioning bodies. He's in there, 14 for the IBF and whatnot. Don't think he's ranked on all 4 of them, but he's ranked number 2 right behind William Zepeda for Gervonta Tank Davis. Obviously, they're going to come after him. Now, again, with my whole B- analysis, he felt the pressure to entertain the small crowd. He really wanted to make a name with the Mexican fan base. He paid great tribute to the Mexican fighter afterwards. He was very respectful. He put himself in situations that he really didn't need to be. He did not make the adjustments that his father asked him to. He continued to slug it out, show off exceptional speed, athleticism, combinations. And in between that, Drew, he got tagged, right? He got tagged a whole lot. The CompuBox tell a different story, almost like it was a perfect shutout. 57 punches in the first round to Giron's 23. What I like to see out of a fighter is exceptional high output. In round 3, the round that I said he was doing a lot of flashy shoe shining and combinations, that's the round where he ate an uppercut in an exchange and got wobbled. In that round, he threw nearly 80 punches, Drew. Mind you guys, William Zepeda throws almost 100, has recorded throwing 100 punches per round. That's where he sits right behind William Zepeda, most likely to be the next 135-pound fighter to get a title opportunity. Put together that pressure of being a headliner, entertaining a crowd against a Mexican fighter, not listening to your dad when you know you could outbox this guy and make it easy. Again, they've been talking shit about Shakur all week, saying he's boring as fuck. Nobody wants to watch him fight. I've been to 2 Shakur Stevenson fights. Let me tell you. Yeah. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed watching that fight alongside Floyd Schofield's mom. Shout out to Fonzie. We had a great time. Not the performance that says you're ready to beat Gervonta Tank Davis, who's got that one-punch, eraser. He's got that one-punch eraser. It never fails him. And if the young Guidon from Mexico could land that counter, could be very deadly. Perhaps you're not ready for that yet. You've got to tighten up quite a few things on your defense before you take on a Gervonta Tank Davis fight. Maybe you're not ready for the 100-plus punches William Zepeda can throw. And, of course, with Shakur Stevenson, you got to have the right game plan. Whether or not they've tagged him up in sparring, you've just going to have to come up with the right game plan with your father or addition of new team members. You're going to have to come up with a game plan that nobody's come up with to beat Shakur Stevenson. Is he ready for those guys? No, but he's 22. The rate that guys are fighting right now, 2-3 fights at the end of 2025, you could say maybe he's picked up. Drew, you say it's got to be against solid contenders, right?
Yeah.
Well, a solid contender fought this weekend. One that I saw recently fight, and that was Raymond Murataya, Drew, out of the Robert Garcia camp. Shout out to Santo Media in here. And he did exceptionally well, knocking out his opponent in just 2 rounds. He's ranked number 2 for Shakur Stevenson's. He's ranked number 2, Raymond Murataya, by the WBC. Obviously, he performed like you said. It was supposed to be a showcase fight. Well, we thought it'd be a showcase fight. Maybe that's why Oscar was so hard on him. But Raymond Murataya walks away with a second-round knockout on the ESPN card. A very stacked division. Raymond Murataya also ranked number 2, right behind William Zepeda for the WBO. Keyshawn Davis, it's his big week. Homecoming in Virginia. A homecoming fight again for your boy, Boots Ennis. A lot to talk about, Drew. I'm going to put a name to you guys, to you, Drew, right now. Obviously, people are wondering, what kind of fighter does he need to win against? I'm talking about Floyd Schofield to show that he's leveling up. And I've got a name that's very interesting, Drew. Let me pitch this name to you. Looks like Lucas Badie will be fighting on the Mike Tyson card. We've interviewed Lucas Badie. Lucas Badie coming away with probably the most sensational knockout of 2024 so far, one of the top. Ranked number 11. He has that one-punch equalizer. He was getting worked by H2O. This was supposed to be a showcase fight for H2O. Lucas Badie, all knockouts, almost 100% KO ratio. He could potentially do the same thing to Schofield. Schofield would really, really have to outbox him and stick to a game plan. And that's why I'm going to pitch it right now. If anybody's listening from Golden Boy, it's a dangerous fight. Don't get it twisted. Lucas Badie has that one-punch equalizer power. Schofield would have to show that and demonstrate that he can stick to a game plan and use his boxing skills. And on the converses, man, Lucas Badie could show boxing skill. Fuck that. I could let you win 5-6 rounds and get it done in 7. Knock you out. That's a great fight. Let me know if you catch this on the replay, what you guys think about that. Lucas Badie, I believe, is fighting on the Mike Tyson fight on Netflix with Jake Paul in just like a couple of weeks, Drew. All right, Drew.
Yep.
I know you worked hard today. Guys, Drew probably worked hard today. We're 3 hours apart. So excuse me if I'm boring, Drew, but I got to ask you, man. Gabriela Fundora does something incredible at 22 years old on the same card Saturday night that I was at. I took an amazing picture. I did not get to talk to her. I saw Sebastian early, but I didn't get to talk to him. I think they walked out the back so soon. She is the youngest undisputed champion. The Argentinian fighter, also Gabriela Alanes, she really came to win that fight, and she was sticking to her game plan until it just all went south. and the height, reach, and straight shots. Where do I got this picture? Didn't I got a great picture I wanted to share with you guys. Yeah, where did that go? But Drew, what did you think about that? Now Gabriela Fundora, her brother, holding 2 titles, 6 titles in between the brother and sister dynamic duo. Just incredible at 22 years old to become an undisputed 112-pound champ. Where does she go from here?
Move up.
Yeah, naturally, you would think. We just saw Christine Lopez's fighter at 118 in New York, Ludabella fighter. We just saw her on Pro Box like 2 weeks ago. And I hate to bring up both of their names, Drew, but Gabriela Fundora is so freaking tall for 112 that I've already said it, man. This women's fighter is going to be a champion in at least 5 divisions. 115 ain't going to be shit. 118, I think she could give any of those girls at 118 hell. And you know, Slim, the fighter that just won that 118 title from the Japanese fighter, I think she might even be shorter than Gabriela Fundora. And that's a title, that's 2 weight classes that she could jump up and contend for a title at that. I mean, the sky is the limit with Gabriela Fundora. And her brother, you know, we're all eagerly awaiting to find out whether or not this Spence fight will be official. But Gabriela Fundora, just props to her. Guys, I took an amazing picture. I put it on my Twitter. I got some really good video of her win and her celebration. I just can't seem to find what I did with that picture. Incredible fight. All right, Bektabuli gets a real C-, almost D+ from me. Gabriela Fundora gets a straight up A, and Floyd Schofield walks away with the B-. A lot of things to work on as far as him being a boring fighter. That ain't it. He's an all-action fighter. If he doesn't become a world champion, he's going to be a very exciting fighter in this division and a true contender. Let's get to this rematch, Drew. The very first one, Robson Conceicao, the Brazilian gold medalist. All right. He walked away with the win over Oshaki Foster. I had become a big fan of Oshaki Foster. Went to Mexico, was in a war in Mexico defending his title. Rocky Hernandez almost lost that fight, and then he knocks out Rocky Hernandez in the 12th round to retain his title. It was just an amazing run. And then he fights Robson Conceicao, the Brazilian fighter, and he gets robbed. A clear robbery. This time around, I don't know, guys. I felt like the second fight was very close. We're moving on to this one now. Shout out to Franco W. He says, greetings from Argentina, folks. Appreciate you. Franco, if you're still here, I am very much looking forward to this Friday. Argentino fighter who I saw fight Richardson Hitchens, Drew Lemos. Just make sure I got his name right, man. Lemos almost was beating the shit out of Richardson Hitchens. I don't know how Richardson Hitchens walked away with that win. That was here in Las Vegas, I believe, at the Fountain Blue earlier this year. In this Argentinian fighter, I'm just saying, man, I would not expect it if he rocks Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis is going to have to be on his silver medalist A game this Saturday or this Friday night. So shout out to everybody from Argentina. Fonzie says, Gabriela Fundora surprised me with that knockout. Shout out to Big Spooky. He says boxing. Yeah. Let me just quickly show you, Drew. Foster Conceicao 2. This first fight, 701 punches thrown by Conceicao. 435 for Oshaki Foster, but he landed 109 with a 25% accuracy and a unification. Nope. Now we might get it. Who knows if this Gervonta Tank Davis, they say January, they say this. But this one was pretty damn close, Drew. What did you think of this fight?
I had to eat the full.
Did you?
Foster. I had to eat the full. I thought Foster clearly won still, but I just thought that I just don't understand how difficult this fight was to score for certain people that have, Foster losing. And then you look at the second fight, I'm like, they're going to do it again. Luckily, they didn't do it again. They didn't rob him again because he clearly won the fight and everything. And it was a big pressure on the judges to get it right. So White man won. Like, next thing, like, he's up to bigger and better things, and other dude, he's just figuring out what the hell to do next.
Well, Drew, it says here who's next for Oshaki Foster. They've got two big stars over at Top Rank. They've got the two Mexicans rematching, Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez, for one of those titles at 130. The unification match is in-house. They don't need to go chase Lamont Roach. They can unify titles. I say straight up, obviously, that's the in-house match at Top Rank. That's who I want to see. Want to see Oshaki Foster take on the winner of that upcoming fight. I tip my hat off to Conceicao, who really actually fought much better in the second one. What do you guys think? Was it as close as 7-5? Almost all the judges had it 115, 113. Those last three rounds were pretty damn close to me. If it wasn't for the fact that Conceicao got rocked pretty badly in one of those later rounds, I think it was pretty damn close. I almost want to say I'd have to watch it again. I almost thought it was a draw, but I could see it going to Oshaki Foster. Fonzie says Oscar Valdez is on steroids. Well, he definitely has gators at his house. That's for sure. There's a lot of boxing news that came out this week, and I will get to some of that real quick. Raymond Murataya said he walked away with a second round knockout of someone that really, the fighter he fought, Jesus, I believe the guy's name was Jesus Perez, at one time weighed 200 pounds. So just, it's amazing how somehow this guy from Mexico lost 65 pounds. But it wasn't, I saw him fight Raymond Murataya. He is extremely talented, as is Schofield for 135. He performed pretty poorly against Tevin Farmer. In fact, some of the people I was with at that fight said Tevin Farmer should have walked away with that win. This was a nice rebound. Like you said, Drew, you want to see Schofield in the next fight win decisively, maybe knock out a contender. That's exactly what Murataya did. Murataya moves to the top of the line. He's right behind William Zepeda in two of the WBO and WBC. So for Floyd Schofield being at the zone, being with Oscar, he has a relationship with Top Rank. But like I said, there's going to be some names in the top 15 that he can fight. I got one for you. Here's another one. Gabriel Flores is ranked number 11 by the WBA and independent. Can fight for anybody. He could fight for anybody. Gabriel Flores out of Stockton could make his return to a big stage, ranked number 11. All right, let's move on to some news, Drew. This is very, very interesting. Came out today, but Inoue, Japan's Inoue, signed a $15 million sponsorship deal with Turki Al-Sheikh. He doesn't even have to fight in Saudi Arabia. He's going to get $15 million. For what exactly? I don't have a fucking clue. Excuse my language. I don't have a clue what he's getting paid $15 million. It's a sponsorship deal. Maybe his shorts, maybe all of his shorts have to say Riyadh Season with that logo. I don't know. Do you guys think that's reasonable? $15 million, and it's not even for a fight. He does not have to fight in Saudi Arabia. If you ask me, Drew, it's just to butter him up to fight whoever they want eventually, whether it's Bam Rodriguez or not making the Nakatani fight, or somehow they want to influence the career path of Inoue. What do you think about that $15 million?
That's no fault for giving it to him, but I think they should just train and get ready for a contender and be better in the fight.
Yeah, I appreciate SB is in the chat. Shout out to SB. $15 million sponsorship deal. All right. Now, this is even bigger news because y'all thought Ryan Garcia was not going to return to the ring until next year, Drew. I'm hearing some crazy shit. I don't know who the hell he's fighting. I seen a picture of some guy he's fighting. Supposed to be this guy. Apparently, in an interview, he's saying he's fighting Pacquiao. Now, it's important to note, guys, that this fight in January is not going to be sanctioned as an official fight, but he's going to perform nonetheless in an exhibition. And I want to know how you guys feel. The guy's suspended until April of next year of 2025, but to stay busy, to stay in shape, he's found some loopholes. It looks like he's going to be fighting in Dubai. Now, it was said here he was going to be fighting this guy, Javier. Is it Javier or Jabir? He's not Mexican, for one thing, so it's not going to be a Javier. But this guy is undefeated, and he's a 135-pound fighter, Drew. How do you like that? 135-pound, not even on my list. Let me look at my list of ranked fighters, 135. He is not here. Is he here? Nah, I don't see his name, Drew. He is not ranked top. Oh, my bad. No, is that him? Was that Javier Herrera? No, Zavani. Exactly. A glorified sparring session against a fringe contender, someone on the outskirts of the top 15. Ryan Garcia supposedly going to be fighting Drew in an exhibition. All right. Speaking of exhibitions, this is not an exhibition, Drew. Mike Tyson looks amazing. How old is Mike Tyson? 50 what? 60? Is he 50 or 60?
58. 58.
I mean, he doesn't have the six pack, but he looks freaking amazing. And if you ask me, we're going to get to that the following week. But if you ask me, he's going to knock out Jake Paul. 14-ounce gloves or whatever. He's going to knock out Jake Paul. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. You know that it helps us tremendously. Mike Tyson looking fantastic with that fight just weeks away, just 2 weeks away from that performance. I'm very much excited for that fight. All right, Drew, this came out today and it made the news on social media, particularly X app. I actually was so fired up about it. Some of you here might remember this show I did. I ended up deleting it from my YouTube page because I was concerned about public outrage about my opinion, but it was a great show. It did very well. I'm talking about the Olympic fighter, guys. This is an election. The election is tomorrow. And obviously, you guys have probably seen commercials about trans athletes, that the Democrats want, trans athletes and women born as men, racing and fighting. And well, this was pretty big news today. Drew, it came out. The Algerian boxer that medaled, Demain Khalif, I did a show on this, has XY chromosomes and testicles. All right. This isn't fucking news. Sorry, my French, guys. This is not big news. I talked about this extensively about intersex individuals. Okay, she was born with testicles. I said that this is more common than we want to talk about, guys. You can watch a TED Talk video on YouTube. We can talk about it. There's trans athletes, which are guys with testicles and a penis, and they're racing. Some of them decide they want to be girls in high school, and they're racing against girls. All right, that's disgusting. That's not cool. That's obviously not cool. Then there's people that are intersex, which are born with both body parts. Very confusing. And at birth, Demain Khalif was born with female anatomy externally. It turned out she had testicles as well up there. I know it's disturbing. She had testicles. This is called being intersex. And because she did not have them removed as a child, she went through male puberty and developed a man face, a man figure, but identified as a woman, was a woman on her birth certificate. I detailed everything that I knew about intersex athletes. The Olympic Committee should not be allowing intersex athletes to fight women. They just should not. So I know on both sides, Drew, the people that are hot on this issue. She's not a trans. She's not a man. She's in between. And somebody that's had the benefit of going through male testosterone and male puberty should not be fighting an anatomically born woman. They just shouldn't. Fonzie says, I saw the betting odds and Mike Tyson is an underdog big time. Drew, you've been very lucky betting this season, man. It's a real fight. It's going to go on their boxing records. You liking these underdog guys? Because I think Mike Tyson is way more explosive than Jake Paul. I think in the early rounds, he can hurt him.
You think it would be, but I don't know. I just don't think Jake Paul's like. If you look at it, they got Mike Tyson as the underdog, but I look at it and I think Vegas really wants hoping Mike Tyson wins.
I'm with them, Drew. I'm right here. Hey, shout out to Isaiah Hernandez in the chat. He overheard the conversation. So does she have ovaries there? If I believe he's saying is the woman if it can bear a child? She is a woman if she can bear a child. Now, Demain Khalif is intersex, and from what I've read, no, intersex women cannot bear children. That doesn't function. They can't have testicles and have functioning ovaries at the same time. But externally, they have women body parts externally. So, they can be intimate with men like a normal woman can. but they can't reproduce. It's just never happened. So that's what I meant by they have both body parts. But if you have the benefit of having male testosterone being created by your testicles, which are internal, they didn't drop. You shouldn't be fighting a regular. You can't be fighting a 100% biological woman. That shit ain't fair at all. And that's the reason why she had that appearance. I'll just bring that up again. The Olympic Committee, Drew, like I said, a lot of people were fired up about this. They need to take a stance, and this wasn't the right stance. You know, they moved it. Yeah, they just shouldn't be doing that. In fact, boxing is for the Olympics is at great risk of even returning. I know that Gennady Golovkin is going to be working potentially with some Olympic committees to see if they could save that. So, hey, thanks for the comment, Isaiah. Yeah, he says if there's no ovaries, then it's not a woman. It's, you know, she identifies as a woman. She was raised as a woman, but she can't have kids, you know, and went through male puberty. So I think she doesn't have any business fighting women. The problem with that is, who do they fight? They want to fight. I mean, do they make their own league? It's crazy. I don't have an easy explanation for that. It's a very difficult and confusing situation, but, you know, biological full women should not be forced to fight people who have that unfair advantage. It just shouldn't be allowed. And that's my take. That's just my take, guys. All right, Drew, there's some big boxing this weekend. Real quick, I'm going to take your predictions on a couple of fights. Obviously, this Friday night, you and I have history with Keyshawn Davis. Let me just remind everybody that is new to the Shoe Shine. Drew and I were picked to compete on a Twitch. You guys know the app Twitch. Well, Twitch has their own sports department, and they invited Drew and I to compete for a podcaster series, and it was hosted by none other than Keyshawn Davis and J. Leon Love. That's right, J. Leon Love, the assistant trainer to Jake Paul. Drew and I did exceptionally well. I went to the finals against a content creator called Miss Thickums, and we went toe-to-toe, and they were going to pick somebody for a fantastic broadcasting job at Twitch. And wouldn't you know it, they told me, what'd they say, Drew? What did Keyshawn Davis say? Because I wish I had it on tape.
Gotta have a woman win.
If I remember correctly, Keyshawn Davis said it's nothing personal, it's business. This shit was predetermined. The winner of that was predetermined, and I came in second. And there's no room to come in second. So we remember that very dearly, Keyshawn. But I'll still continue to treat you fairly, despite you not giving me the same opportunity, Keyshawn.
Can I just ask 4 questions, Keyshawn? Did he look at her tits?
I don't know what Miss Thickums. Well, I don't know what he was looking at, but it was well determined who was going to win that category. Anyways, here's the ESPN lightweight rankings at 135 pounds. Gervonta Tank Davis, Vasily Lomachenko, who may retire. I don't know what's going on. William Zepeda does not have a title, and he ranks ahead of Shakur Stevenson, who they just let go from Top Rank. That tells you what they fucking think about Shakur. Dennis Barynchek, also a Top Rank fighter, holds one of the other titles. Keyshawn Davis. Of course, Keyshawn Davis is ranked there. Of course, George Kambosos, who hasn't won a fight in over 3 fights, is on the list. Frank Martin, who just got knocked out by Gervonta Davis. Andy Cruz, who beat Keyshawn Davis twice in the Olympics. He's not a fighter from Top Rank. He's on Eddie Hearn, ranked number 9. And, of course, Raymond Murataya, their in-house fighter, ranked number 10. No mention of Floyd Schofield. No mention of let's see who else. Tevin Farmer's not ranked there, even though I think he should have beat Raymond Murataya. He should have got the nod on that one. Lucas Body is ranked number 9. I just mentioned him earlier today. Shout out to Lucas. He's ranked number 9 by the WBA and ranked number 11 by the IBF. He is not on the list. He didn't make the top 10. Kambosos shouldn't be ranked at all, in my humble opinion. Drew, Keyshawn Davis is fighting a guy that just came to Las Vegas. He's only 5'5", but he's a hell of a power puncher from Argentina. He looks to be the next Marcos Maidana. He did not get the nod. Against Richardson Hitchens here in Las Vegas. The guy could crack. He doesn't use his jab to get in, but he could definitely hurt you. He hurt Richard Hitchenson's a few times. Richard Hitchenson's was hugging for dear life in that fight. Can he land something substantial? I've watched Keyshawn Davis fight live. I've seen his fights against Andy Cruz in the Olympics. Can he crack the code this Friday night and potentially, excuse me, that's not the right pick. It's this one here. Can Argentina's Lemos tag him? 5'5", coming down from 140 in his last fight to 135. What about that? Well, first of all, what about Keyshawn Davis pulling somebody from 140 and stripping him down to 135?
What else is new in boxing?
Saludos to Boxing Vitals. He says, come on, bro. Most of these things are predetermined, but you definitely are one of the best doing this podcast thing. Man, that I really appreciate that, Boxing Vitals, coming from you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here in the chat. It's all good. I still got the love of boxing, and I have to tell you guys, now that I moved to Las Vegas, I had said so much shit about that. I wanted to be a full-time reporter and go to all the events as a credentialed reporter. And things haven't transpired that way, and part of it is a battle I'm having, Drew. The fact is, reporters like Lukey, Gail, who comes to Las Vegas often, all the reporters from Fight Hub and whatnot, Drew. Once you become an official reporter, it's going to take the joy. It's really going to take a lot of the joy out of what boxing has always been to me. You know, an escape. Coming to Las Vegas for over 20 years to watch fights, Drew, it turns into work. I've seen how hard Gail and other reporters work, and there's no longer going to be bringing your wife and all your friends, you know, and showing up and rolling deep with Fonzie and a whole 6-8 people sitting ringside. That shit's going to be gone. I did see Sean Zattel, by the way, Drew. You know who Sean Zattel is, right? He's a big Vegas reporter. I did see him alone, still managed to get out of the event in pretty good time and interviewing and talking to people outside. But really, you become a reporter, you're sticking around for the post-fight press conferences until midnight, you know? And you can't bring your wife. You can't bring your homies. It's just you. It's just you, the microphone, your camera, your gear. It would take a lot of the joy out of it. Now, am I opposed to it? No. Not completely opposed to it. I'm on the fence, and I ain't ruling it out. I'm not ruling it out at all, but it would really, I think, take a lot of the joy out of being a boxing fan and being sucked into the industry, Drew. So I got the right job for you and I, matchmakers. That's it. You and I, matchmakers.
Tell you the truth, let me get paid for it. I'm not like these fucking wannabe matchmakers.
I'm just joking.
I get paid for my shit.
I'm just joking.
Motherfuckers.
Well, listen, Top Rank has some of the best matchmakers in the industry. Lemos, like I said, he gave Richard Hitchison hell. Again, I'm going to ask you, does Keyshawn Davis walk away embarrassing this guy and outboxing the guy from Argentina?
You know, I look at it, man. I just don't see it. I just see him winning. But I think there's like a 30% chance something could go wrong.
30%? All right. Yeah. I'm going to probably say, yeah, somewhere between 30 and 40% chance that he does get caught with something and he's going to show the dog in him. Up until now, I haven't seen Keyshawn Davis been hurt credibly where he's going to have to show that dog. And a lot of fighters have been dropped, including Floyd Schofield this past weekend, including Virgil Ortiz being dropped twice and having to get up and perform. Both of those guys that I just mentioned performed admirably in the same round they were dropped. And I haven't seen Keyshawn really hurt. So if he does get hurt, he's going to have to show that dog and show why he is going to be a future champion like Top Rank believes he might be. You know, silver medalist. They got high hopes for Keyshawn. That's Friday night. Now moving on to Saturday in your hometown. I don't know what you're doing Saturday, but Bam Rodriguez teaming up with your boy Boots Ennis in the city of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. I just want to put up one of these flyers. This shit is so nice. Let me bring up one of these flyers for this weekend's event in your hometown, Drew. Again, he's fighting Karen. That's his name, right? His first name. A guy we've already seen him smoke. But didn't Karen go all 12 rounds, all 10, 12 rounds? Yep. So there is something like nobody wants to see him rematch a guy he already beat at the same point because it is in Philadelphia and Philadelphia didn't get to see him fight. He has to improve on that last performance at the very least.
Yeah.
What's he got to do different?
No, I think he just needs to cut the wing off, and I think he needs to pressure more. And I think he needs to force him to make a mistake that gets him caught with a counter. Like, I'm going to say something. And I don't care how people think. I never cared about what people think of my takes and everything. But today, like, people, have these showcase fights and everything. And that's what boxing is mostly now, showcase fights. But you do have the case that people got to take them because they're being mandated by the sanctioning body because they're mandatories. But when other champions in your division don't want to fight you, what are you supposed to do?
I hear you, Drew. I know that Mario Barrios has been talking. He's been on the mic. Fight Hub has interviewed him this past week. Mario Barrios is going to be on that Jake Paul, Mike Tyson card on Netflix that potentially they say 20 million people are going to be watching that live. He says he wants to fight Boots, but PBC, well, you know how it is, Drew. Boots Ennis had to leave PBC. Are they going to continue to cock block the unification matchups at this welterweight division?
Mario Barrios wants to blame a promoter for him not fighting. Let's look at it like this. You want the fight. You do everything it takes to make the fight. Even go against your promoter, say, yo, I want this fight. And if you're not going to give me this fight, my manager is going to make the fight. And if you're not going to approve it, oh, well, I want my contract.
Drew, you're absolutely right. To be honest, from what I'm seeing and reading, and you guys can let me know, but PBC does not have any more further dates for the duration of 2024. So Mario Barrios is lucky to be fighting Abel Ramos, the uncle of Jesus Ramos Jr., on this card. He's going to get a lot of eyeballs on him. I don't know how long that contract is, but with PBC not even having any more fights on Amazon or at all, any more dates for the rest of this calendar year, I don't think these two guys are going to be, they're definitely not fighting this year. Obviously, that's a given. But even in the early part of 2025, this unification looks whack, which is why I've been reading that Boots Ennis he's really serious about moving up to the hottest division in all of boxing, 154. He said it this week, the boxing scene, to multiple reporters. He wants to move up to 154. Is that the right move for him?
If the other guys don't want to fight you, yeah. I look at it like this. I pissed off a lot of people with my takes. And Dave, you hear it all the time. A lot of people get in their feelings. They don't want to come back and watch the show. But because I pissed them off with my takes. And then when I had to rebuttal against them and like tell them something real about themselves, they get pissed off. They don't want to watch the show. They don't want to, hey, I'm not coming back to the chat. Let's just say this right now. If you can't take my responses to rebuttals and takes, then maybe, and we welcome everybody here, but if you can't take that and you don't come back, maybe you are soft.
Drew, I've had people approach me about the phone line. Okay, we switched to vertical to boost our channel. We used to do horizontal, and a lot of people want that phone line back, and a lot of people want that smoke with Drew Evo. So I think we're going to have to consider putting the phone line back up and allowing people to go a couple rounds with Drew Evo. They want that smoke.
And you want to know something, Dave? You put the phone line up, and you're gonna have some motherfuckers call that phone, and I gotta put these on because they're gonna put me. I'm gonna be like this the whole time because they're probably gonna put me to sleep.
That's up to me. You just let your boy Dave handle the producing job, but I think we're gonna have to bring back that phone line because even Boxing Vital says people want that smoke with Drew. And you're ready for it. He got the shades on. We got a comment in the chat from Jay Ake. He said thoughts on Bam. First of all, I think it's amazing that Bam, a Chicano kid, is teaming up with Boots, two really talented people that Eddie Hearn has boosted career-wise. I love the fact that he's fighting in Philly.
Yeah. Fonzie, I'm going to be honest. They left 12 points on the board yesterday because of their coach. I don't blame the players at all. I thought the players play an excellent game. I thought Jalen Hurts has been playing lights out and everything. I think Nick Sirianni needs to stop fucking going for two or just kick the goddamn field goal. They should have scored 38 points on this Jaguars team, but the one score should have never worked, should have never counted because Saquon was down by contact. So
yeah, Saquon Barkley had. We'll get back to football talk later this week. But there is someone in the chat. By the way, I saw that run that Saquon Barkley did, Drew. That was out of this world. That was pretty cool. That was definitely cool. And obviously, my team, the Niners, are on a bye week. But we will get to football talk, Drew. They want to know your thoughts on Bam. This appears to be a showcase fight. What are your thoughts on Bam appearing in Philadelphia this weekend?
This is a showcase fight for Bam. I think Bam's biggest fights are Juto Nakatani.
Yeah, it's going to be rough now with that endorsement that AUA signed for $15 million. I think they're going to want a piece of that pie to put together that Nakatani fight. So that might squeeze Bam out of the equation for now. But this is a stay busy fight. He's fought multiple times this year, and I expect him to put on a show in Philadelphia. You know, this is the town that birthed Rocky, so I'm excited to see him on a card with Boots. At the same time, we're really gonna see what he's about next year if he makes a move up again in weight and taking on newcomers, or if he's gonna try to become undisputed in the weight class he's in. I think undisputed for any fighter is a remarkable feat. It's something to put on the record books, and if that's what he wants, I fully support him on that. Drew, by the way, there's also a really exciting fighter, Raymond Ford, who had gone to the UK to fight Nick Ball. That was an amazing fight. That was really a great fight.
He lost that fight too, and I think there's one person that scored that fight 117, 111 Raymond Ford. That was on from fucking Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder shit, because the motherfucker said that shit, and he was probably wearing these glasses, acting like he was blind watching the fucking fight.
It was a great fight. Raymond Ford said he would defend his title, even though he was very vocal about not being able to make 126, that he was very much struggling, that he anticipated going up to 130, but he took on Nick Ball. Nick Ball is one of the premier champions at 126 at the moment. And Raymond Ford finds himself in a weight division right now where he's got a lot of skills, Drew. And to be quite honest, I think that he's a real player and he's a contender and somebody that I can see fighting either Lamont Roach or Shockey Foster for a title opportunity in the future at 130. He's going to have to wait and keep winning dramatically, and he's going to have to take on this hard-fighting Gonzalez this Saturday and make a statement, because he needs to put that division on notice that he's on the level. He is a former world champion. He's worthy to take the stage with, in my opinion, with Lamont Roach or Shockey Foster. But politics always plays into the, always play a factor, and so he's going to have to do something this weekend. And at the beginning of 2025 to line himself up for a title fight at 130, man. That's some great, great fights. Real quick, just those three fights. Give me your predictions. Boots versus Karen.
Knockout.
Knockout for Boots. Bam versus Guevara.
Knockout.
Ford versus Gonzalez.
Decision.
For Ford?
Yep.
All right, there you go. All right, and the Keyshawn Davis fight, does he win that one by knockout, decision? Does he lose? Do we see a massive upset this weekend?
Nah, he wins by decision. Let's look at it like this. I don't think he beats the upper echelon of the division. I don't even think he beats Andy Cruz.
Yeah, and we talked about, again, that 135 is so deep that, did they even put Andy Cruz? They did put Andy Cruz on ESPN's top 9. I got to question whether or not Floyd Schofield, as much as I like him as a young fighter, if he's ready to beat a gold medalist. I don't think so, but he's very talented. And how you develop him, he's a fighter. They're both on the zone. You got to develop the kid properly. Obviously, the Cuban fighter's got a way more experience, just gold medalist.
I think there's just too many fucking gimme fights. And I think, how the fuck are you supposed to develop these guys? And everything. Like, I think these guys don't know when to fucking put a trigger and give them a harder fight. I think they wait too long and too late. and then when you think they're finally ready to step up, it's too late, and they look, and you have a Kid Austin incident and everything. But like, I think that's anything. I think they should have got up in this competition up last fight and everything, but I don't know. That's why I don't get paid. I don't get paid the big bucks for matchmaking. I'm not like these wannabe matchmakers.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody, Drew. I appreciate all our new subscribers. We hit 10,000 views on the video that I posted from Ringside on Saturday night. That was phenomenal. We only did one show last week. It completely helped. If you're not subscribed and you're listening, consider subscribing. We do our Monday podcast every Monday. There will be more boxing shows. We do Thursday night football talk. Kansas City Chiefs just beat the Buccaneers by 6 points, Drew. They got that new Hopkins. Oh, man. And we play the 49ers, play the Buccaneers this Sunday. I'll be looking forward to that. Hopefully they banged up the Buccaneers for us.
It's Cowboys week. We destroyed the Cowboys. It's time for us to destroy the Cowboys.
Yeah, so make sure you hit that notification, the bell notification for Football Talk, Tailgate Talk here. Appreciate everybody that viewed it. Follow us back, and on Monday we'll be back with the Shoe Shine. Any final words, Drew?
Yeah. Hi, Blue Chicken.
Oh.
In chat.
Shout out to Nerd. Thanks for joining us, Nerd. Thanks to everybody. Fonzie says Schofield versus Camarón would be nice. Oh yeah, but are they ready to cash out on Schofield, man? You know, they've got two great players. That's the thing with Oscar, man. He's got a lot of guys that are ranked right beneath each other, and you know he doesn't want to do no in-house fights. Can't do that. Can't have one of your guys destroy your other guy until you're ready to cash out. But yeah, I appreciate that. Mom Food. Shout out to Mom Food. Make sure you guys click on her and join her on her channel. She's got an awesome channel. And I'm still trying to figure out why I can't make people mods from the comment section right here. I have to figure that out. Somebody explain that to me. Until next time, I'm Dave in the 702 out of Las Vegas. Peace out, everybody. Peace.